Hi guys, hope everybody's safe. Hope you're keeping your safe distance. And so today it was our first day for the virtual classroom, and we're going to talk about reduction and oxidation. So this is a new unit. This is unit 8, and this is going to be electrochemistry. So I already posted the slides for today's class. So please check the slides, and while you have the slides open, then you can watch the video. Okay, so the first thing you have to do the do now. Choose one out of 3 questions to answer, and when you're done with the do now, the objectives for the class is for you to be able to know what a reducing agent is, what an oxidizing agent is, and I want you to be able to construct an explanation why redox reactions happen. So what is a redox reaction? Most of you have seen it on the slides. Redox reaction simply means loss or gain of electron. If you gain electrons, it's reduction. If you lose electrons, it's called oxidation. And I have a mnemonic to remember that. So oil and rig. Oil means oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. Okay, so most of this thing is already in your slides. So let's go to the question that I want you to solve. So what about oxidation state? Oxidation state, like in the reference table. Okay, just so you remember, please Google the reference table. Just go to your Google and Google reference table, and you should see the reference table. Just download it and you should have a reference table. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do right now, I just want to do quickly run through the practice question that I have. We're trying to see what is the oxidation state of oxygen in water. So in water we have 1 oxygen, right? So what is the oxidation of this oxygen? If you go to the rules that I posted on the text, so the text says that the rule, you follow the rules. You apply importance based on rule 1 is the strongest, rule 2 is the next strongest, rule 3 is the next strongest. So the first thing you ask yourself, on page 480, you're going to see all the rules. Page 480. The first rule there says the oxidation state of a pure atom is always 0. But in this case, we're looking at water, which means it's not an atom. This is a compound. So rule 1 does not apply. Then we go to rule 2. Rule 2 says the sum of the oxidation states of an atom in a neutral molecule is 0. So we know that the sum of all the oxidation states will be equal to 0, right? So in this case, we go next to the next rule. And the next rule says that group 1A elements and also hydrogen, they have an oxidation state of +1. So if hydrogen has oxidation state of +1, oxidation state of +1. That is to say, how many hydrogens do we have here? We have 2 hydrogens. So 2 hydrogens, each one of them has a +1 sign. So how many do we have in total? That would be 2 hydrogens times 1 will give us 2. So 2 hydrogens gives us a 2 plus charge. Now, 2 plus charge, what will be the oxidation state of the oxygen? That is what we're looking for. So that would be, when you add everything up, it's supposed to give us 0. So plus 1 oxygen, this is oxygen, not 0, is equal to 0, right? Now, when you have something that says 2 plus whatever, let's say oxygen is what we're looking for us to find what oxygen is, then the 2 here has to go to the other side. Basic math. So now we're going to have oxygen is equal to, when a +2 goes to the other side, it becomes -2. So that is to say the oxidation state of oxygen in water is equal to -2. Okay, so that is how if you run into any problems, please go through the videos again and it will make more sense to you. Now let us do another example. So the next example I want us to talk about, still staying on page 480. Page 480 shows you all the rules. Now let's look at another one that says what is the oxidation state of oxygen in Na2O2. So once again, this is a compound. And because this is a compound, the sum of all the oxidation states will be equal to 0, right? So if everything here is equal to 0, and the rule says that group 1 elements like sodium and potassium, they all have an oxidation state of +1. So if 1 sodium has an oxidation state of +1, and we have 2 sodiums, that would be +1 times 2, which means we're going to have a positive 2 charge for this part of the equation. Now, how many oxygens do we have? We have 2 oxygens. Note that this is 2 oxygens, so we're looking for, remember that it's 2 oxygens is equal to 0, right? Okay, so this is a +2, this is 2 oxygens, and this is 0. If we want to move this over to this side, it will become 2 oxygens will be equal to plus -2, right? -2. Remember, +2 moves over to the other side of the equality sign. It gives you -2. Okay, now we have 2 oxygens is equal to -2. How do we get the oxygen state of 1 oxygen? We divide this side by 2. We divide this side by 2. 2 here cancels 2. 2 here cancels 2. At the end of the day, we have the oxidation state of oxygen will be equal to -1. Okay, now look, the first case we had in water, the oxidation state of oxygen was equal to -2. And now we have it as -1. So you have to pay attention to these discrepancies, right? Always calculate for oxygen. Don't always assume that oxygen has an oxidation state of -2. In other compounds, it could have oxidation state of -1. Okay, so let's do the last example. Then you would have to do some others on your own. So the last example we're going to work on is, the last one is sodium hydride. So, sodium hydride. What is the oxidation state of hydrogen in sodium hydride? So, sodium, this is a compound and it's always equal to 0, right? So, one sodium has a +1 charge, plus a hydrogen will be equal to 0. So, when we move this negative +1 to the other side, it means that hydrogen will become -1. So the oxidation state of hydrogen in sodium hydride is -1. Once again, look at how we did it. So 1 sodium is +1. 1 hydrogen is what we don't know. So if we move the +1 to the other side of the equality sign, it means we'll have a -1. So now we have hydrogen will be equal to -1. So in this case, always remember they have to add up to 0. So if hydrogen is equal to -1 and sodium is equal to +1, -1 plus 1 will be equal to 0, which is what we have right here. If you're still confused, I am going to attach another video to you. The Khan Academy video also explains everything that I've just explained to you. And I will be available tomorrow all day. If you still don't understand after this video, please call me back on Zoom. Just let me know, send me an email, and I can always call you and we can discuss this further. You have to submit your classwork tomorrow. At 2:35, your classwork will be due. And by 3:45, your grade should be up. So make sure you turn this work in tomorrow and please stay safe. Thank you. Bye for now.